Hey gals and guys, it's your host Phil Larson, and this is your Motivational High Five on Procrastination. Let's do this. Today on Procrastination, I want to start out with a quote, and this is the quote. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I struggled with coming up with the name or the subject for this particular podcast. I was kind of back and forth between procrastination and proactivity, being proactive, or prevention. And I settled on procrastination because I think it's maybe the most widely recognized word in our lives, because when we come across that, I think we feel a lot of guilt and shame because, we compare ourselves to other people and we tell ourselves, man, if I only did things a little differently, if I only weren't so procrastinating. The truth is, it's so hard, not just for you, but for everyone, including people who have been successful. It's a fine line between not getting something done and taking just the first step to get something done, because we get stuck on the whole picture. We get stuck on there's so many steps that need to happen in order to get something done. And we miss what requires to get started, which is just one step forward. And what we find is there is such a release of pressure when we just take that one step. And when we take that one step, the next one happens, and the next one happens, and the snowball effect happens. And finally, procrastination isn't so much of a trouble. But I'm speaking from this morning, where my alarm went off and I hit snooze for an hour. And I knew I could have gotten up and had more time to do this podcast. And I was like, I just want to sleep. I just want to lay in bed. So I'm not speaking from the grounds of having it all together. I don't. I struggle with this a whole lot. So an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And early on in my marriage with my perfect and beautiful wife, we developed a kind of a mantra that I think began as a way to focus on each other and spend some quality time together, but kind of got out of hand in just doing some basic chores. So if the dishes needed to be done, we said, let's make that future Phil and Kylie's problem. If the laundry needed to be done, if the mail needed to be sorted. And you can only do that for so long, saying, oh, I need to pay the bills today or they will be late. You can't make it your future self's problem forever. One of the best decisions I've made over the last 2 months was a very simple one. Was the first thing or one of the first things I do after I wake up is to do the dishes. And what that has done has been just every day a little bit of dishes being done. Created a cleaner kitchen always. It was small acts consistently that avoided a bigger event of cleaning the mounds and mounds of dishes that would pile up if I weren't to do them. So an ounce of prevention every morning really is better than the pound of cure or pounds or tons of cure that it took later to do the dishes. And it's real simple. And maybe that's a place to start for you. What it would do is it would put my mind in kind of this work mode. And I would be more motivated and find that my day would start off in a more productive manner if I started out completing a task, a simple task. And so getting ahead of the game, the prevention, the ounce of prevention, that is the antidote to procrastination. And what is that called? That's called being proactive. And I love the definition of proactive. Proactive behavior involves acting in advance of a future situation rather than just reacting, which is what procrastination leads to, just reacting. It means taking control and making things happen rather than just adjusting to a situation or waiting for something to happen. And the definition of procrastination is the action of delaying or postponing something. And when we do that, what we cause is our future selves to react. And it's often a very stressful situation. So what do you need to be proactive on? Maybe you need to go see a doctor and you're afraid because you're afraid to find out the results. But guys, preventative measures help you avoid pounds and pounds of cures and treatments or trying to cure later, it could save your life. Fighting procrastination could save your life. Be proactive because you deserve a proactive life. So at the end of the podcast, we tell ourselves some good stories. I want you to find yourself some time to find a reflection of yourself and say some things to yourself. Say a positive thing to yourself. And I'm going to lead you in something that you can say to yourself. Or you can come up with something yourself. That's a lot of self. So will you find a reflection and say this to yourself? I can love my future self by being proactive with my present self. Take care of yourself because you deserve it. Try not to procrastinate so that you can love yourself well. But as always, to make that decision, no one really has a say except you. It starts with you.